Knocked over my cup of tea. Look, it's the capital of the United States of America, Capitol Hill. I just want to thank the powers that be that gave me this opportunity to live here with that as my view before I leave the city. It's funny because I'm using social media to expose the creators of social media and the internet, but the dirty, evil side of it, not the good people. And I hope it works so that we can have a better planet for all people worldwide, rather than for just those few families who think it's funny that they go around the world acting tough and scary and also jumping into your technology, which they jump into my technology every day, yet I'm still able to make all these videos. Hopefully the proper people in the military are seeing this rather than the proper people at their, say, art schools or schools of fake design. You tell me why artists are taking defensive terrorist driving classes or evasive driving classes or CIA driving classes. Why are they taking these classes? And why do they fake car accidents around here, sometimes to block buses, or they fake getting hit by cars when they're on bicycles? I've seen that too. This is a fucked up, stupid world sometimes. And when you waste all of our tax money to do these dumb things and deceive all the people of the planet, nah, shorty, ain't happening. It doesn't matter if you use all different kinds of people from all over the planet. It's still evil. And when you take God out of the picture and you make it part of your devices, you make God part of your devices. I said it, not he or she, because God's not man or woman. It's everything. God is all things. And when you make that a device of your plan that has spanned a couple of 100 years, you cannot do that. So as you've set up and orchestrated and architected all of this, you've also forgotten that you're not permitted to do that. And so the revolution is not for one people and everyone else is your slave or your peon or your serf or your pawn in your game of global chess or your piece of crap in the alleyway or your so-called street nigger. You can't have your fucking people scaring everyone when y'all aren't really that scary. You're really not. The scary people are the ones who you get hooked on drugs and who are former military or active military, or they're just part of the ancient psychonautic evil that travels to and fro and created a fake calendar that has 12 months instead of 13 months. So you see, the moon goes around the earth in 28 days. And every time it does it 13 times, we go around the sun one time. That's 13 months based on the moon going around the earth. That is the celestial cycle of ancient everything. So to pretend and to think and to feel and to know and to see the drugging and to see that you've taken the ancient evil that was discovered using, another country in a so-called World War I and II to test chemicals on people, to test how much stress and how much of these chemicals people can take, and then how you can change the chemicals and teach people to eat food that's not good for them. You know, that shit you put in a bag or a can in a store and in your closet in your house, or back in the day it was in your bomb shelter, and you can eat it 5 years from now. That's not good to have a culture that uses that as their nutritional methods. And to use it in international food production and distribution is even more evil. So whoever's checking off all this crap on the government paperwork and taking the money and lying because they know it's unhealthy and basically killing us all, y'all need to get your rude awakening, or whatever you want to call it. We need to round you all up and separate you from the rest of us on the planet, because y'all ain't no good. And y'all are the same people that came up with having, say, we call internment camps or concentration camps or work camps during World War II. And over in Europe, they would call you a faggot or a homosexual or a black man or a Jew. And they'd put you on a train and send you to a camp. And then all the stormtroopers, the men wearing coverings and scary masks and scary outfits with guns and weapons, would stand there like a wall. And as the trains of people went by, they'd say, "Not see, not see," using English language, meaning you do not see. Not see was the command. Until everybody just went, "Oh, not see," because they were scared of the stormtroopers of death. They were scared of the death. And guess what? You did see. And now you heard. And now you should talk about it rather than hide it. Because if you hide it and you don't talk about it and you say you didn't hear it or see it, and we know you did, well, it's a slow process that takes years to fix the planet. And guess what? Look up blockchain technology. Some assholes who were messing with me by the White House the other day when I was begging, yes, assholes messing with an old mentally ill beggar for some reason, when I explained to them that everything was followed by blockchain technology digitally, they didn't know what it was. Everything digital is tracked and sourced. So all you clowns printing plastic guns all over the world, it's all been tracked and sourced. We know who you are. This is a global military thing, not some red, white, and blue. Haha, we got you, punk. We punked you. Not anymore. Nah, this is when the real fucking men of the military are taking over. And why? To protect our families. Because I have a family coming to me in the future. And it has nothing to do with what? Condoms? Teaching my sons to become a bachelor and fuck? Or teaching my daughters to take the dick either for money or to trap a man or to get an abortion and murder what they put inside themselves because maybe they were drunk, intoxicated, or they just don't even care. And we're here to teach everybody to care about yourselves, care about your families, and get good with God. Yep. That's a beautiful rhinoceros I drew. Nah, man. Anyways. So it gets me a new phone when I go to Pittsburgh, but I can't set up because I don't have proper ID. Finally take a copy of my passport today, get a copy, and they turn this phone on. Except for the shit's real weird the whole time. The dude's even asking if I have a picture of a bank card or a credit card he can take a picture of before he activates my phone. I'm like, no. Then he comes back and activates it, but I think he put someone else's SIM card in my phone, and I think someone else jumped in with a stinger or with digital interference. So when I was trying to punch in my numbers, to go, make sure you get it right, because if you get your PIN wrong, then I can't change it for you later. It's the T-Mobile on H Street in Northwest DC. H Street. It's right at basically at 8th Street and H Street in Northeast DC. Just a few blocks up from Whole Foods. And I made a point to talk about how I've been taken advantage of before at other phone places because I'm mentally ill and kind of stupid. And then he did the same thing because my PIN number doesn't work in my phone now. And there's somehow data from May associated with my phone in the downloads. Well, I just got this phone on the 1st of the month in Pittsburgh, not in May. So now I have to go to an authorized dealer of T-Mobile tomorrow and tell them what happened and see if we can fix the situation, as in repair the damage done today by the T-Mobile store here in Washington, D.C. that's not actually an authorized dealer or representative. I guess that's what I get for being stupid or expecting people to do their jobs properly and honestly. I mean, it's one thing to have a government that's corrupt. It's a whole other thing to have the entire retail industry of Washington, D.C. corrupt. And when I say that, I don't mean everybody, but it seems like everybody has people jumping in on your digital, doing live jumps in on your music, or whatever, or having companies like Limelight have their actors doing eye modeling and mouth modeling during short bits by other people where their live actors jump in on the fly. Again, I'm the crazy guy, but gee, isn't everybody a little upset with how shitty the world has become? And so, with all that said, I'd really just like to wonder why Congress doesn't help its people. And the reason that Congress doesn't help its people is because Congress is paying for all that bullshit and more. You know, not that I get any love here in DC, but I get more help by people over near the American Bar Association than I do here. And I sat in this Starbucks and this Pete's Cafe over here for years, over about 2 years maybe, or maybe a year and a half, almost every day, praying and writing poetry and drawing pictures, and still people pretend I don't know if it's him. Geniuses, everybody. I just yelled at this guy Ray Conklin earlier, who comes and goes here and watches me beg. He's on my YouTube channel with his band called Like No Tomorrow. He's got full tattoos down his sleeves, but guess what? He's not really for anything good. If he was, he would have walked over and said, "Hey, how you doing, Nate? Can I give you $5 or buy you a sandwich?" Instead, he defends his sponsorship by the United States government and other governments, as well as Arizona Iced Tea, and runs around the world as a concrete bomber skateboarder and hangs out with Matt Moffat, who's the rich boy who took over Smash Records and one of the people who ruined hardcore here in Washington fucking DC, also called Moshington DC, also called a lot of other fucking things by people around the world. Guess what? Who cares? A lot of people do worldwide, but right here, this is the devil's armpit and butthole. And that's why no one cares, including my former mother-in-law from right there. Ha ha. Give me some fucking money. Fucking billionaires, the new billionaires who buy all the new millionaires and set them up for nothing. And let me add one more thing. When I used to smoke cigarettes, my feeling of cold fingers and other feelings of having to, tense up and feel like I have to go to the bathroom when I don't, all those trace elements they put in the cigarettes are probably the same trace elements or new versions of them they're testing on me with the food and the water and the air where I live in the halfway house, which they do to people in jails and prisons and other institutions of assholeness created by the United States government. And, well, there's a federal FBI. So I'm like a human test tube and a human test subject, but we're going to figure them out because they're trying to make sure it doesn't show up in the federal urine screenings the way they drug people. And Regina LaBelle, Westinghouse, NIH, DuPont family, the United States government, Washington, D.C., and Friendship Place, among others, take the money, take the drugs, and administer it to the general public worldwide and systems in all the buildings which they set up during the coronavirus. Let's go take a look at this Westinghouse sign.